afternoon.
Welcome to the Muscle of Yarn podcast. Why am I sitting like so far away from you? Here.
We're a little disheveled this afternoon. It is Thursday, June 8th.
Yeah.
I'm glad you knew that.
I don't know why I know that, but it's the 8th today. It's finally a beautiful sunny day here in Vermont.
Yeah, it is.
It's lovely
Gorgeous.
outside.
This is the Muscle of Yarn podcast, and
Yes.
we generally talk about knitting and crocheting and fiber events and new yarns. And we're coming to you from our yarn store in Shelburne, Vermont. This is just a very small section of the store. If you go, two episodes back?
Episode 43.
We did a tour of the store because Ange had lost her voice.
Yes, it's the episode titled Kelly and Silent Ange.
Mm-hmm. So if you want to see the rest of the store, check that out.
Yep.
But otherwise, you can find out all about us on social media.
Yep.
We are on Instagram, Facebook,
The
Twitter, Ravelry, all as Muscle of Yarn. And then, of course, our website is muscleofyarn.com.
That's right.
So, yeah. And I'm Kelly.
And I'm Angela.
And you can find me on social media as Kelly Spins on Ravelry and Kelly O Spins on Instagram.
And you can find me on both Ravelry and Instagram as Junior Bird Kid. So I was gonna. We're sans knitwear today.
I have none. You have socks.
I have socks. I was
wearing
going
a
to
skirt,
lift my leg up, but I'm wearing a skirt. Actually,
Rose City Rollers?
I might be able to.
There. She's pulling a me.
I know. My Rose City Rollers, which are great little shorty socks. And you can I think you can get away with wearing them with those kind of cloggy shoes and skirts, even in the summer. Mm-hmm. So, fabulous.
I know, it's funny. It's warm enough today. All of us are wearing skirts. Carol came in and she was wearing a skirt. I'm like, hey, look, I am too. And then you came in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I prefer skirts when it's hot.
Yeah, I'm not a shorts wearer. I mean,
Yeah.
Ange really can't because of her profession on a day-to-day basis. She can't really get away with shorts, but I can, and I'll wear like capri pants, or
I mean, I won't. So for those of you who are new tuning in, I am an attorney by day, and sometimes by night.
A yarn slayer by night.
And a yarn slayer by night. No. I can't wear shorts or capris to court. I could get away with capris if I had a day where maybe I didn't have clients coming in. I was just working in the office. But for the most part, no, I have to look the part. Though we are a lot more casual here in Vermont than many other places. I do not have to wear a suit every day to work, but that's also partially because I work for myself, so I get to tell myself what I get to wear. So anyway, there we go. But anyway, this is actually a knitting podcast, so
see, we are knitting.
And what you working on there, Kel?
So I have no FOs.
Oh yeah, me neither.
To speak of this week.
It's been kind of it was a wild weekend.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about. Yeah.
And a wild week for me so far.
Yeah. It's been okay for me this week, but I've kind of gotten back on my exercise and eating well kick.
Well, it's been really nice this week once it stopped raining.
But I went to the grocery store and spent. I don't know why it is, but when you want to eat we eat really healthy anyway, but I wanted to try a bunch of new recipes and things like that.
Yeah,
and,
more healthy. Your
my
food bill
goodness,
goes up.
It was ridiculous, but
yeah.
So anyway, I've been doing that a lot more in the morning, so sometimes I was knitting more in the mornings, but now I'm exercising and cooking like quick breakfasts and things that we can both, because my husband's an avid cyclist and other things too. So anyway. I am working on my flax light that I've been working on for quite a while, and I'm very, very close to being able to add in my fourth and final color. Cool. I know. And I can enter this into my Legacy Fiber Arts make-along, because this top color is the Legacy Fiber Arts macaroon colorway. And then it goes into Fiber Stash, and this is her Melancholy. And then it goes to Fiber Stash, Tale as Old as Time. And then fourth color is Peggy Jane Fibers, and this is Fuzzy Peach. I think Fuzzy Peach is what it's called. And it's that one. It looks very, very pink there, but there's a lot of peach.
More orange and peach in it, yeah.
So that's what my final color is going to be, and then I'm going to get all of that done, get the sleeves cranked out. I am making this a long sleeve. I didn't want to do a short sleeve, and I did do flaxlight. I didn't do so faded. I didn't do the garter ridges on the sleeves either, so it's a very, very plain pullover, but that's kind of what I was going for, so
yep.
It's going to work for me.
That's good. With something like this, you really don't want too much texture in the sweater itself because you want the focus to be the yarn and the changes in sort of the colors of the sweater to come through. And you could get away with a little bit of texture.
Yeah, like a simple texture stitch.
Yeah, but not, you won't want anything too wild.
Yeah. It's funny, you can see on the camera, you can see like these diagonal variations in that yarn.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
It's a fun thing with hand-dyed.
Yeah, it's a tonal, so there's a little bit of lighter and darker areas in it. So, but yeah, so I've been working away on that, and I can't wait to get to the fourth color because, so we had a customer who comes in. She watches our podcast, which is very exciting.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. So hi.
I ran into one of those in TJ Maxx yesterday, and it took me a second to place the person.
I know.
I was like, why do I know you? You look so familiar.
So she actually is doing the sew faded.
Okay.
And she didn't end up doing the garter on the shoulders because the sew faded had the garter like all on the shoulder, the whole shoulder.
Yeah.
And but she started with this color actually, which is kind of cool. So I got to see what this color looks like knit up, and then it's all she's using all Peggy Jane fibers.
Ew.
And
that's gonna be gorgeous.
And so she's going like. She's pretty much staying kind of in the oranges and purples. Mm-hmm. So she had Kelly, who's the dyer behind Peggy Jane Fibers, do one more colorway for her. So she got this color here, but then she had ordered some online from Kelly for that were Peggy Jane, and she needed one more, so Kelly dyed her up the dark one. So it'll look really, really cool.
Awesome.
So I can't wait to see hers finished as well. It's going to be gorgeous.
Nice. I mean, that's the thing. They're so beautiful. Just the concept is.
I know. I'm already like plotting and planning for another one because this one, like I've mentioned before, is fairly, keeps within the same color family because I'm kind of use that peach and all throughout. So I kind of want to do another one that's a lot like some of the other ones you've seen where they actually shift from one color to the next, but they are pulling a color from the first yarn into the next.
Well, I mean, the one that Sue knit started with gray, went through some pinks, and then ended on like neon green.
Yeah,
and, I mean, that was beautiful.
Yeah, and they did the kit. So we're talking about Sue from Legacy Fiber Arts. And the Legacy Knits podcast, and they have some really lovely kits that they did. So if you're looking for something already done up that you want to just buy a kit and go.
If I could justify having more yarn show up in my house, I think they're having a shop update tonight.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Sorry for those of you who are watching this tomorrow when the podcast uploads.
Oh, that's right.
They're probably putting their kits out, but I can't justify it. So
I know.
Ugh.
But Sue will do custom orders too. Mm-hmm. So, which is really nice. So you could actually have her. I know. If you had something in mind, you could send her a message on either through Instagram. She likes doing things through Instagram or through the Etsy store, and and I think she's mostly caught up with a lot of her orders. She said so.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So and they're fantastic. We had so much fun with them at the trunk show and. We look forward to catching up with them again soon.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm still working on Lionheart. I probably am not much further than I was when I was knitting on this last week on the podcast. I did knit on it a little bit, but I've been really working on my sew faded confetti. Though again, it probably doesn't really look like I've made much progress. But see earlier comment about not having very much knitting time.
I know. I really have to start putting in little progress markers.
Yeah.
So that, for my own reward. So since I'll leave them in from week to week from when we podcast, and then I can be like, wow, I really actually did get quite a bit done.
Well, I mean, you just added your fourth, or getting ready to add your fourth color, so you've been trucking along.
Yeah, because
that's a lot of knitting.
It's about, well, total, if you include the section where it's faded, it's almost 7 inches, I think, so, of yarn. So,
and how are you fading yours?
I'm just alternating between the 2 colors.
One row
at a time. Yeah. So I'm not doing a huge fade. I haven't looked at the So Faded, so I don't know how she fades it in that particular pattern. But I mean, really, you could do a very gradual one and just do 1 row, 1 row, 1 row, 1 row, then go to 2 rows and keep going that way. But I'm just alternating every row.
So let me pull mine out, because I did mine a little bit differently. And again, I'm just winging it. I haven't looked at the So Faded pattern. So here's mine. The base pattern I'm using for mine is Confetti by Bira Valimaki, because I like the A-line once you get past the bust.
Oh, that's so pretty, Ange.
So I did, and you can kind of see it, but when you get down into the solid, it doesn't really look. I did a two rows at a time, and then just switched.
Yep.
And you can kind of
one,
tell,
and then you can see there's 2 rows of the neutral, and then 1.
But you have to look. You have to look pretty closely, because when you get down to this part, which is just the next color by itself,
there's a lot of neutral in that yarn itself. So that's really cool.
So
it's gorgeous.
I kind of went back and forth because when I first started doing it, I was like, wow, that's really, you can really tell that there's stripes there. And then when I switched over to just the second color, it washed more. And you couldn't at first glance be like, whoa, hello, stripes. So I think it's going to work okay. And I'm doing the same thing. I just added my 3rd color.
Yeah.
So I'm using 5 colors, so I'm not going to have as big of a swath of each color by itself.
It's going to be gorgeous, though.
So,
do you think she likes purple? She's wearing purple. She's knitting a little purple sweater for her daughter.
What? No.
And she's knitting a sweater with lots of purple.
This one has lots of purple in it. So you can see, well, I guess since I have this out, I should talk about it a little bit more. I managed to divide for the sleeves, which I was very excited about, because the rows leading up to dividing for the sleeves had high 300s into 400 stitches for a row, so they were taking forever. So now that I'm back down to about 260 stitches, I'm super excited because it's going so fast.
I know, that's always the best part of doing a top-down sweater, is when you get past where you separate for the sleeves, because there's so many stitches.
Super fast.
I know, and then when you get just to the body, but then that, after a while, that takes a while. And then you're like, then you get to the sleeves, and they seem like they're flying, and then you get down below, and you're like, oh.
So I was out on Instagram, and I actually saw somebody was posting. I can't remember who it was, because I am horrible about remembering, but they were posting pictures of their faded sweater that they were working on. And when they got to the sleeves, I think this is absolutely brilliant, so I'm going to use this. This will be new for me, new technique for me. They did both sleeves at the same time on like magic loop kind of thing. So then their fades matched perfectly because they were doing the same thing with both sleeves.
Were they on the same needle, or were they doing their? Oh, they were
on the same needle. Yeah. So it would have been a little awkward probably at first, because your stitches would have been all maybe together. But no, they had them both on the same one big circular.
Interesting.
So that's an option, or you could just, knit like 5 rows on this sleeve, and then knit 5 rows on this sleeve. But then you have to keep track of which sleeve you're on. So I don't know. I may see if I can figure out how to recreate that, because it was absolutely brilliant for a pattern like this, where it's really sort of important that things match.
Yeah.
Because even when I keep track, like I do little hashtags, like my sleeves never come out the same, and I'm like, how is this even possible? I did the same thing on both of them. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. Well, I only have one other thing that I've been working on too.
Okay.
So let me show that to you.
I know, it's like a knitting light week this week.
It really kind of is. Ooh, I have to show you the acquisition, so it's all her fault. So sorry for any jingling you hear in the background. It's totally me. We don't have a dog in here, although sometimes my dogs stop by. But so we had the Meet the Farmers event over the weekend, which we will still talk about.
Oh my God, it was so amazing.
But I wanted to pull this out because I I wasn't sure what the farmers were going to be bringing for samples, and this sweater that I'm knitting is actually out of one of the farm yarns of one of the farmers that was coming. And of course, I stopped right in the middle of the row, which I know is horrible, but I have a good reason because I was helping customers. I'm not going to be like, oh wait, I have to get to the end of my row.
Let me just finish this row, which is what I tell my kids all the time.
Yeah, because I'm doing I'm on the body of the sweater, so.
William actually even knows what that means. He'll come over and be like, are you done with that yet?
That's cute. So I actually am quite far along because I was about to, I can't really tell from there. All right, so that's how much, I'll hold it sideways. This is how much I have done now, and I've almost doubled what I had done. I was about here. And this is on US 4s, and the yarn that she does is somewhere between a DK and a worsted. It is a very glorious Corriedale Cormo blend.
I just
super
hold
squishy.
Up 3 of our new.
It's probably one of the squishiest farm yarns you will ever touch in your life.
It's amazing.
It's gorgeous. It's really, really soft, and she does all natural colors, and they're lovely. She does keep her sheep jacketed, so there's very, very minimal veg matter in her yarns, and she has it processed at a local mill, Hampton Fiber Mill, and Michael Hampton is the owner, and he does such a fabulous job with the yarn.
Sorry, it smells so good.
I know, doesn't it? It's the best. I love the sheepy smelling yarn. It's just an all-around amazing yarn. It's great to knit with. I did because it's such a poofy yarn. I mean, you can knit this. I'm knitting this on 4s. You can knit it on anywhere from 4s up to like an 8 because it is so squishy. It'll kind of bloom and fill out. So if you're knitting it at more of a worsted weight, it works for that. But you can knit it at a DK or even more of like a sport weight. So I was knitting this on the Knitter's Pride Dreams, which are a wood needle, and because I'm knitting it at such a tight, dense gauge, it was getting really sticky, and it actually was not sticky, but
it wasn't sliding.
It wasn't sliding on the needles.
On your needles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and it was making my hands cramp more when I was knitting with it. So I ended up switching to the Higher Sharps. So the Dreams and the Higher Sharps are the 2 needles that I knit with probably the most. So if I want a wood needle for whatever project I'm doing, then I go for the Dreams, and if I need a nice sharp metal needle, slippery needle, I'll go for the Higher Sharps. And so it worked out great too because they have the cable pattern is very small. It's only in the first 16 stitches. Which I'll hold it up closer so you can see what it looks like. There it is. It's not easy to show you because I am in the middle of a row, but that's it. It does this really pretty cable all the way up the front on both sides of the sweater, and you have to do a purl through the back loop on the wrong side rows in the cable pattern. So it's nice to have that really sharp tip to be able to kind of maneuver in behind that stitch.
Yeah.
And as long as you're not like really pulling your stitches super tight. I mean, I got gauge right on when I was knitting just kind of my normal, which I don't knit really, really tight anyway, which makes my life easier when I have to do a purl through the back loop.
Yeah.
So they worked out great for that, and the stitches slide so much better on these that it's a lot more enjoyable to knit. And if you're working on something that's bigger like a sweater, you want it to be enjoyable.
Absolutely.
And the body of the sweater is just sucking it too. So after I get through the chart on either side, it's just a lot of knitting or purling. So. But I love that, and the stitch definition, because you are knitting and or purling those cables through the back loops, it makes those cables really pop, which they're so pretty.
They are. It's gorgeous.
So I don't know if I said this is Braid Hills by Kate Davies. So that's the other one I've resurrected, and I've been pretty monogamous with my fade sweater, the flax light fade, but when I haven't been doing that, I've been pulling out whips that have been sitting around for way too long. So I've actually been pretty motivated to kind of get some of that stuff done.
I mean, every once in a while, it's like a little spring cleaning.
I
It
know.
just makes you feel good, makes you feel accomplished. And actually, I will say, sitting here, looking at these 3 laying out on the table, that sheep love hat that I keep talking about, I think I'm gonna make it out of these 3.
That would be awesome.
I mean, that would be spectacular. And since it is sort of a DK / light worsted, the sheep love hat calls for worsted weight, but I think I could probably get away with it.
I think you could too, because it's such a plump
Yeah.
DK. It's so fluffy.
So look for that, because I've been jonesing for a quick project, because I've got so many sweaters on the needles right now. Like, I need to do something that I can finish quickly. So I have a finished object to show, but also so I just feel it's nice to finish things every once in a while.
Yeah.
So
hats are great for that.
Yeah. So I see perhaps the sheep love in my future.
That would be awesome.
These may go home with me to do that, because that's a perfect combination.
That would be great.
And it would showcase this yarn fabulously.
You'll probably have enough too. You can knit one for yourself and then knit an extra for the store if you wanted to.
I could.
See, I'm just wrangling.
See how helpful Kelly
samples for the store.
Well, my thought was to knit it and then bring it into the store, because I'm not going to be wearing it anytime soon. But yes, I might have enough left over to knit myself one, or reverse the colors or something. So
that'd be really cool.
So stay tuned.
Yeah, and Peggy is just, well, we can talk about the event, but she's just a phenomenal person, and she really gave a really lovely talk when
I missed the talk. I was working at the front desk, but that's fine. I will get the next one, or next time I'll make Kelly film it.
I did film some of it.
Oh, you know what we see? All these great ideas come after the fact. We should have set this up, filmed it, and then we could have thrown it up on the YouTube channel when they were done. But anyway, whatever. Next time.
I got bits and pieces of it, so we could put some together.
Like a little
montage
medley, and with some pictures and okay, awesome. All right, we can do that. You can just airdrop them over to. Can you airdrop from your phone?
No, but I can dump them in the Dropbox.
Okay.
I'll just Dropbox them to you so that Jen's doesn't get filled up.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, Rich.
Just an aside.
So, what do you have any upcoming projects that you've been like itching to start, or are you trying to? You've got Finish-it-upis. I don't know. Maybe that's Finish-it-upis. That just became our podcast title.
I love it. Finish-it-upis.
You know, some bot somewhere that like catalogs these is like, what?
That's hilarious.
Can you guys stop making up words for your podcast titles? We just broke somebody's search computer.
Maybe, but that's okay.
It was like the time we named the podcast episode Whole Cans, and it clearly made it pop up in some like comic book search on YouTube, because somebody came over and was like, I was very disappointed there was actually no Hulk in this. And we were like, you watched it and you didn't figure that out in like the first 2 seconds.
You know.
But that's awesome. Yeah, YouTube. Okay.
I know, we've got Speepers and Hulk Cans
and Finish-it-upis.
Finish-it-upis.
There was some other ones in there too, I think.
Yeah, there's some pretty funny things.
All right.
So the only thing, I don't really have any newish things I've already talked about, because Anniversaire by Vera Valmaki, that sweater, that Keebly goodness. I just have to think about yarn that I want to use. So I've been kind of wandering around the store, and I had sort of thought of maybe the Savage Heart Farm, since.
Are we gonna get any other colored yarn? Didn't they have some colored yarn?
So she bought Jacob from somebody. She doesn't actually have Jacob's sheep. She has, all of hers are Cordell or Cordell Cormel crosses. Yeah. And so she bought a whole bunch of Jacob fleeces from somebody else, and she had them processed at Green Mountain Spinnery, and you can tell because their yarn is so much different than this. It's spun differently. So And I looked at it and I knew right away it was done at Green Mountain Spinnery. It's really kind of cool how you can tell by the different spinnery just by looking at the yarn.
Yeah,
because we have a lot of the Green Mountain Spinnery DK in the store. So so we're gonna get some of the Jacob, and which she's dyeing. She's over dyeing this really lovely grayish brown. So it's got so much depth to it. The colors are stunning.
Because I saw some of that here, and then it didn't stay, and I was like, what happened?
Yeah.
What happened?
So she sells that. She goes to farmers market and she sells it at farmers market. So she wants to. She's like, I want to make the skeins look pretty for you guys and do some labels and things like that.
Awesome. So we are gonna get some.
We're gonna get some. Jen's gonna pick it up on one of her travels that way.
Excellent.
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
So maybe something there would that work? For
Yeah, that would probably be really lovely too. Either that or some of the green.
The Green Mountain
I went and
Spinnery
worked with some of the Green Mountain Spinnery yarns
Yeah.
as well, because
stuff is
they
beautiful.
have some really lovely yarns too.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of bouncing around ideas of what I want to use.
So if you have any suggestions out there in podcast land.
I know, but and because it is so heavily cabled, I want to make sure I find something that's gonna really make those cables shine. Right. So
the I have a couple ideas.
I looked at the other one that I really like is the Dove Stone by Bahram U.
Yeah.
That was the other one I was looking at. A lot of the colors we have are pretty dark, so I want to find something that's a little bit lighter because I don't want to put a lot of work into the cables and then not really be able to see them. Of course, I could go stash diving too because I probably have something there.
Right.
May not be something we sell in the store, but because lately I've been trying to do, if I start a new project, I try to do something that it's a yarn that we have here, just so we can double as a shop sample. So
I think we've all been doing that a little bit. So,
but so I don't really have any, and like I said, I've got all these other projects that are so close to being done. I've got another sweater for myself that is really, really close to being done, and maybe it's the Stash Dash. Like everybody's talking about Stash Dash.
With the knit girls.
Yeah. So the knit girls are doing their Stash Dash, which is for the whole summer. You basically work on
works in progress,
and you keep track of how much yardage or meterage. Are they doing meterage or yardage?
It's meterage.
I think I thought so. Meterage you use up, and
but the way the rules work for Stash Dash or for their contest is if you knit a stitch, so if you're casting off or you knit a couple of rows, you get to count the meterage for the entire project. So it's not just what you've worked on in the time frame. So if you're finishing up a sweater, you got the whole amount for the entire sweater. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. So if I finish the sweater that I have going for me, which is like here, and it's a bottom up, where I only have, maybe a few more inches to go.
And the decreasing rows to go. So
and like the sleeves are done and everything because they're already attached. So I have that sweater, and then my husband's sweater, which is the same thing. I mean, his I just added the sleeves on and it's bottom up. I'm like, I've got some pretty good yardage already.
Yeah.
So, and I've got a lot of like socks that are.
Yeah.
But I think socks they're counting individually, so if you have one already done, you don't count that one. I think, but I'd have to check. They have lots of rules.
Are up on their group page on Ravelry. So the knit girls with 3 L's.
We'll link to it in show notes so you can find that if it's something you're interested in. And they have a fantastic podcast.
Video podcast.
They've been doing a video podcast for years now. So very, very informative.
Yeah, both about knitting and spinning and crocheting. And they do, they talk, Leslie does some quilting and some needlepoint.
Yep.
So, they're, and Laura's a mad spinner.
Yeah, she is.
So, so we had the Meet the Farmers event this last weekend. It was fantastic. It was so much fun.
So we started it so Camp Stitches happened in Vermont that same weekend, and that's part of the reason that we decided to have the event. We actually contacted XRX the Knitting Universe XRX people. They're the ones that put on all of the Stitches events. Yep. Stitches United just happened in Connecticut a few weeks ago. Yep. There's, you know, Stitches West, which is a huge event out in California. Yep. They do all of those Stitches events. They're the people behind it. So we contacted them because they do these events called Camp Stitches. And they're these weekends that are, you take a class with one instructor for the whole weekend. It's
very intensive.
It's super intensive series that you do. And so we contacted them and said, hey, you know,
do you work
how
with
can
yarn
we
shops?
be involved?
Can we do something with your attendees? You know,
because they have Saturday afternoons open, so they're in class Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, except for afternoon. I think like from 1 o'clock on, they're basically free.
Yep.
So we decided that we were going to put together an event for both our customers and for the campers if it was something that, you know, they wanted to come down here for.
Yep.
And so we decided to do the Meet the Farmers event,
yep,
which we talked about a little bit.
Yep, getting some of our local farmers in, because we do carry so much local yarn.
We do. And, you know, we love to support them when we can.
Yep.
And we love their yarn.
Yeah.
It's really, we've got some amazing local yarns. Yep. And so we had, from 3 to 5, the store was packed.
It was hopping.
We had probably
so much fun.
at least 50 people
yeah,
crammed back here in this little room. And
it's probably a fire code violation.
Oh.
Yeah, wait till later. She's like, oh, whatever. Shut up, lawyer.
We'll leave it to the attorney.
We had a lot of people here. We did not exceed the fire code.
Yes, and it was a lot of fun, and they gave some really great presentation. We had 2 Grandma's Farm here. They have Shetland sheep. We had Savage Heart Farm, which we just showed you their yarn. It's the Cormo Cordale yarn.
So pretty.
Amazing. And then we also had Peter's Home Farm, and they do Shetland as well. And they also have a Shetland mohair blend.
Yeah,
and oh
that stuff is amazing.
My God, that yarn, I really want to find something to knit with that too. They've got a fingering weight and then like a kind of like the Savage Heart, which is kind of like a DK/worsted. And it is beautiful, and they do all natural colors. Actually, all of the farmers that we had, they do all natural colors. Yep. We do have some that natural dye. We've got some that use acid dyes on their yarn as well. So we really have
a wide range.
We really do.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun, and
so much fun. There were so many people here. Lots of the Camp Stitches attendees. There was some our local customers
our regular
came in as well.
knit group attendees came.
Yeah,
and
it was great.
We had Alistair Post-Quinn came in, and we'd had him in for a double knitting workshop
about a little over a year ago.
Yeah, we had. So he came in, and then
it was nice to see him again.
Yeah, it was really fun to catch up with him. I didn't get to talk to him as much as I'd like to. And then Anna Zilborg came in. So I got a chance to talk to her on Thursday evening, and she is just lovely. Nice. Very, very sweet. And then Nathania came in
from XRX.
XRX. So she was the one. She was the on-point person for the event, and she is the one who used to own Pearlescence Yarn Store. So if you listen to the Knit Girls,
Knit More Girls.
I mean Knit More Girls. I'm always doing that. Knit More Girls. That was their kind of local yarn store. Pearlescence was, and Nathania is quite an accomplished knitter and actually has some designs on her own too. And she was super sweet, and you know, it was great just chatting with her. And she was really thankful that we did this event, and she really enjoyed it too, and loved the store. And she said, "I'll be back."
Okay.
And so that was a lot of fun, and it was great meeting all of them. And Thursday night, actually, we got to meet some of the other teachers too. And Franklin Habit came up and started chatting with me. Oh my gosh, you guys! If you have never met him before, he is one of the most genuine, sweetest people you will ever meet. He was so kind, and it was so fun to chat with him, and so down to earth, and I get to take a class with him in the fall.
Nice.
And I told him, I'm like, I get to take a class with you in the fall. I didn't say it that way. She did. I didn't. I totally was.
She was cool.
So
in her mind, she was like, "Be cool, Kelly."
I know. I was like vibrating. I was like, you know, I'm like, I'm meeting all these really cool people, but I was so. Hi, how are you? No, it was great, and I had heard that he was just a really wonderful person, and he really was.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
Nice.
So I can't wait to take his class. I'm doing a speaking class with him.
Super fun.
At the Webb's retreat in September.
Nice.
So, yeah. So I told him, I'm like, I'm not taking a class with you until September, but I'll see you in September. And he said, great. I look forward to seeing you. And it was so cute.
Awesome.
I know. I love him.
So that was super fun. We have plans to do it again next year.
Yeah, so we found out, Nathania told us that it was a go for next year. So
we're coming back.
Keep an eye on, or sign up for XRX's newsletter. So if you're interested in doing Camp Stitches next year, it was a really nice event. And Nathania said it's going to be even bigger and better next year. And so we're gonna do something again next year.
And we have a whole year to plan. So we kind of threw it together. Makes it seem like it wasn't very well planned, but we put this event together, and by we I mean Kelly, put this event together in about 2 months?
Yeah, it wasn't a lot of time.
Yeah, so we've got a whole year to plan something spectacular now, so we're pretty excited.
Yeah, it's going to be so much fun, and the people at XRX couldn't have been nicer to work with.
They were fabulous.
They were amazing and so welcoming and accommodating, and it was wonderful, and we can't say enough good things about them.
Yeah.
Really.
So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sure you're not watching, but thank you.
But if you are, or somebody drops a bug in your ear, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
We really appreciate the opportunity, and we were glad that so many of the campers came and had a good time.
Yeah, I know. I recognized so we saw them on Thursday evening, and a lot of them came up and were chatting with us, which was so fun.
Yeah.
And so I recognized a lot of the faces in the crowd.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I recognize a lot of faces here.
Yeah. It was awesome.
So they had some great classes that they did, and everybody was really enjoying them.
So this coming Saturday, the 10th, is Worldwide Knit in Public Day, and we are doing a joint event with NITO at Oakledge Park in Burlington. So come check it out. We'll be there rain or shine. We've rented one of the pavilions, so if it's raining, we've got a spot we can hang out and knit.
Bring a side dish to share. You can go to our Facebook page, and there's an event page, and there's a little invitation thing. You can tell us what you're bringing and how many people are coming, just so we have a rough idea.
So we don't run out of burgers.
Yeah, because we're supplying the grillables, burgers, veggie burgers, that kind of thing. So we want to make sure we've got enough food for everybody.
Yep.
So if you're going to come, let us know. One way or the other, you can always just send us a message too, so that we can add you to the list.
Yep.
But it's going to be a fun event, and if you're not local, go out and knit in public. Go have fun.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of events all over the place. I know a lot of yarn stores are doing things. Even other stores that are in Vermont are doing other events.
Yep.
So go out and knit. Have fun.
Have fun.
Scare the muggles.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. I know. It seems so normal to me. It seems so normal to my family, too, because they're so used to being around me. And then I forget when I'm out in public sometimes.
Yeah. I know. People are like, are you knitting?
What are you doing?
At a bar?
Yeah. Yes, I am. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, and then we've got the Great Northern Yarn Haul, which is from July 8th to July 23rd. And
I think technically, Jen, sent us an email that said it's starting technically on the 7th.
Oh.
I don't know. It's 7th or 8th. I think they're doing
says the 8th, but
yeah. And I think that officially, because I know Paula last year did one for her knit group the evening before, but I think technically it's the 8th.
Okay.
So 8th.
So the 8th. So that's
if you come in and buy $20 worth of stuff from us or any of the other participating stores, you get a tote bag.
Cool.
You get your little passport, and then you get some little goodies. Each of the stores you stop at are going to have some little giveaways or goodies for you. And then if you make it to all of the stores, they're going to draw from anybody who makes it to all of the stores, which we had people do last year.
Yep, and it's
Quite
a big prize because all 23 stores
are donating a prize of value of like $20 to $30, I think. So it's a lot of yarn and goodies.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's huge.
Yeah. So.
And then I think each of the different stores have been
their
getting
own drawings or different.
have been getting little giveaway gifts.
Yeah.
I know we've had a few show up from some of our vendors.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it's going to be a fun event.
So that's going on. We also have our Lake Monsters Stitch and Pitch, which is on July 8th. I'm getting super excited for that.
We actually have physical tickets in the store. When Angela buys hers, we're going to be down to 16 tickets left.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Oh my God.
So if you want to go, you better get your tickets soon, because I can't guarantee that there are other seats left in our. I mean, there probably are other seats available at the stadium.
I should email them and let them know, because they might be able to get us some more tickets.
Yeah.
Okay. We should do that, but don't wait, because
if you want to sit, so we have tickets all in one section. So we've been selling those, and there are no guarantees that if you don't get any of the 16 that are left, that you'll be in the same area as us, but it's still a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And
we're doing a 50-50 raffle that night to raise money for Cast Off Chemo.
Yep. Yeah, so we'll be selling. You'll see us wandering around, because we'll have Must Love Yarn and Cast Off Chemo apparel and pins and things.
Whatever.
Paraphernalia.
My mom always gets after me when I use that word. She's like, "But it's drugs." I'm like, "No,
not necessarily.
Not. It's fine."
Yeah, so we'll probably have you'll see us. Well, if you watch the podcast too, you kind of know what we look like. Yes. So we're gonna be doing that. We'll be wandering around selling tickets and watching baseball and knitting and
eating hot dogs and
drinking beer and
fantastic.
chatting with everybody who's there. And there's a lot of people coming with their families.
It's
so
gonna be great. Yeah.
Not everybody's necessarily gonna be knitting, which is totally fine. But they're family members of knitters, so they know they know what we're like.
They're not scary.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, like I said, if you need tickets, make sure you get them.
Okay.
And you can get them right on our website. If you go to mustloveyarn.com, and you can either search baseball or you can search Stitch and Pitch. Any of those terms should bring you up to the page. And I'll also link it in show notes. Excellent. So you can just click on it and it'll take you right there.
And then I think finally right now our other event or activity on the books is the Rhinebeck bus. So that's
selling
out fast
too.
Quickly. Selling out fast.
It's not selling out yet, but we've had a lot of people sign up for it. So if it's something that you want to do, definitely make sure you sign up for it so that you can get a spot on the bus.
Yep. So that's Saturday, October 14th.
Nope, 21st.
21st. Oh, it's a week later?
Yeah.
Oh, I put the wrong date in. Sorry, don't mind me. See, I'm glad Kelly's here. I'd be sending you guys all off on the wrong weekend.
It's the 21st. It's later this year. A lot of times it is kind of mid-month. But I'm pretty sure it's always the third Saturday in October.
That would be right, and that would explain why it's the 21st.
Yeah.
Because the 1st is on a Saturday.
Yeah.
You're right. You are correct. Kelly's so smart.
I've just been planning it, so I have to know to tell the bus people like when they need to show up.
Important. And when you need to show up. So October 21st.
October 21st.
Don't listen to me.
So we are sending a bus down, and we're gonna have so much fun. Yeah.
And we do have a few more activities in the works for sort of late summer, August, September.
We do.
But we're not quite ready to announce them yet. So stay tuned to find out what those fun events are going to be.
We love doing different events. You know, in the summer we don't do a lot of classes because people want to be outside, so it's hard to fill a lot of classes in the summer.
Yeah.
But doing events that are shorter, just like a couple hours here, or you can pop in and out. Yeah, it's easier for people,
absolutely.
But it still keeps you engaged in the knitting community, and it's just a lot of fun. So we've been really working hard to bring you guys a lot of fun events that we think you'll like. So keep an eye on email and or right here on the podcast, because we'll let you know.
So we've got our our 1,000 subscriber giveaway.
We are. So and we should say a big thank you. We've had a lot more people even sign up since then. Yeah. We're over 1,100 subscribers now.
So awesome.
So thank you guys so much, all of the new subscribers, and all of you who have been with us from the beginning. We really appreciate it. We've come a long way.
Yes, we have.
If you haven't watched the first couple of episodes, don't.
No, do. Then you see how awesome we are now.
The second episode when I couldn't stop saying which I'd still do some on occasion, but
it happens.
I do my best to not do that.
So we had thank you for everybody who left comments over on the Ravelry board. I know the last couple weeks I've been having a really fun time reading all the comments. I've been
going through and loving them all because they're all amazing.
Yeah, no, so nice. We love the feedback. We love people's suggestions about things you want to hear about on the podcast because that helps us make sure we're bringing content to people that they are interested in. So that's cool. So we did random number generator for one prize, and then we were going to do podcaster's choice. And when it came down to it, we couldn't narrow it down.
There were so many.
There's so many good ones.
So we just did number generator
so
again.
So we did 2 random number generators. So our first prize, which one are we going to do for prize number 1?
I don't think it matters. I'll just grab one.
Just grab one.
So here is for prize number 1. This is this cute white background little project bag, and it's got this really lovely 100% alpaca yarn and soul yarn in it. And it has the yarn from my stash out, and I'm unwinding it already. The Dreaming color, the Starry, which is the Stellina base of theirs, and a skein of Wool and Vine yarns. This was one of her Art Nouveau yarn colorways, and this is from my stash too. So that's that prize, and the winner is
post number 7, Katrina's Creations. So she posted that she loved the cowl that became a Mobius moment when I discovered my project had twisted on the needles. Yeah, because I discovered that on the podcast. Cause
you're like, oh crap.
Yeah. She said she did the same thing with a sweater, and she kept thinking, I'll untwist it when it comes off the needles. I may have thought the same thing for a little bit with my Mobius cowl. Nope, it doesn't work that way. I had a Mobius with sleeves. So I feel your pain. I'm just thankful I was knitting a cowl because it could become a
work.
Sweater. Not so much. I feel your pain.
Yeah, so congratulations.
Katrina's Creations.
Reach out to either Ange or myself, either through Ravelry or through Instagram, whichever you prefer, and send us your address, and we will get this right off in the mail to you. So, enjoy.
Okay, and so our second random number generator is going to get the red bag.
So and there's all kinds of goodies in here. There's a skein of Legacy Fiber Arts in Sweater Weather 2.0. This is our DK base. It's really lovely. Then there's a skein of yarn. This is some lollipop yarn that Carol donated that she was destashed and gave to us to give away, and it is gorgeous.
Yep.
And then Ange pulled one from stash too. It's a Socks That Rock skein of yarn.
Is that Splotchy McSplotchy pants?
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And it is really pretty. So this looks like it would do micro stripes.
It might. And in case you were wondering, yes, I bought that just because of the name.
It's not like we ever do that. Ever.
Ever. Okay, so this prize is going to post number 123, which is Colorful Coder. And she writes, I so enjoy watching you two when your podcast pops up. I can't wait to see it. I love the shop and like seeing shoppers in the background. That's also pretty fun for us too. I don't have any one thing that I would like to see. Everything keeps my interest.
Thank you.
So that was lovely. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you guys for all of your posts. It really was so entertaining, and I can't tell you how good. Ange and I have
really
been,
nice.
Well, all of us here at the store have been going through like tons of stuff going on, and really it was what we needed because it was just like, oh. Yeah. We're so happy that like just us sitting here and chatting every week.
It brings so much joy to people.
Can entertain you guys and just, so thank you.
Yes. It's awesome. So Colorful Coder and Katrina's Creations. If you could reach out to Kelly or myself with your address, we will get these prizes in the mail to you. Yay. So congratulations.
So we did have, Knit Girl Knits, Laura, who is a customer of ours and comes to our knit group regularly. She has generously donated 100-gram skein or 5 20-gram skeins of her yarn that she has dyed herself. And I asked her to pick a post that she liked. And of course, I didn't print out the one that actually won, so I can't read it to you. But the winner of her yarn is post number 50. That's the one she told me that she liked, is GK Green. So if you, GK Green will give me your information. I'll forward that along to Laura and get that to her so she can get you your yarn. You can pick out which colorway you like of her yarn. So thanks so much for your post as well.
Yes. So I think that's. Oh, I had some stash enhancement.
I have some stash enhancements too.
You do.
But they're not stash.
They're not stash. They're.
So this is Angela's fault. A while back, she actually
You're welcome.
talked about, which one did you get?
The Star Wars one.
So Angela, yes, got the Star Wars bracelets. I, on the other hand, she told me about the Harry Potter bracelets. So I had kind of forgotten about it for a little while, but I follow the Sexy Knitter on Instagram.
Me too. That's how I fell down the rabbit hole.
She's got a fun Etsy store. She's got all kinds of tools and gadgets for knitters and these little charm bracelets. Mm-hmm. So I had to get a Harry Potter charm bracelet, but I not only got one, not two, but all 3 Harry Potter charm bracelets that she does. Of course. Because then they're fun to wear together, and then I've always got enough stitch markers. I'm going to make Angela completely lose it. So I got this one, which is well, they're all just great. I really like this one though. This is the one with prongs and Mooney and Padfoot and Wormtail. So I think this one's called Marauder's Map or Marauder something. So I like that one. And then I've got the one that has all of that. Of course, they're all facing backwards. I put it on the wrong way, I guess. This one is, let me just take it off and then I can show you. So this is the first one that I talked about. And you can see all of the different, there's a little charm for each of the 4 people and then a little Hogwarts castle, which is very cute. And then this one is really cool. This is all of the different emblems for all the different houses. And then just some colorful stitch markers to go in between. So there's a Hogwarts one, and then there's one for the 4 different houses too. Nice. And those are enameled, and they're really kind of cool. So I've got that one, and then I have just kind of the general Harry Potter one, which has kind of all of the different symbols and the Deathly Hallows symbol and all of the different Horcruxes and the Sorting Hat. There he is, looking kind of mean and grumpy. Oh, sorry, I'm kind of going. I'm like, see?
Yeah.
Sorry, you can't see him very well from there. But anyway, they're really reasonably priced, and she, like I said, she's got an Etsy store.
Harry Potter stuff. I've seen Star Wars stuff up there. I've seen Game of Thrones ones up there. So a lot of the sort of current
kind of pop culture
type stuff.
And she's got these really cute little tins too. Mm-hmm. They're like little toolkit tins, and they come with a bunch of stuff in them. But they have really cute sayings on the front. Yeah. And all kinds of really fun stuff. So if you haven't checked her shop out, give it a look. And there's all kinds of these fun things. So yeah, you can wear them as fun little charm bracelets, or you can
use them for stitch markers.
Take them off and use them for stitch markers, which is really fun. I'm kind of like don't want to because I'm like, what if I lost one?
I know. So far, my Star Wars one, I've just been wearing as a charm bracelet.
I know. So those are super, super cute.
So my stash enhancement is coming from, so William was having a rough day on the weekend once, and I got an email from Lollipop Yarn, and she was having a shop update for pre-orders for her 4th of July colorways, and so I called William over and I was like, come here, come look at this. I was like, do you like any of these? He had like three different 4th of July colorways, and he picked out this set from Lollipop Yarn. It's called American Dream. He likes it because these are, in his mind, New England Patriots colors. So my child is apparently a Patriots fan. I have no idea how this happened.
When did that happen? Because wasn't he...
School. I blame school.
Because, I mean, when we had the get-together, the cookout.
Oh, I know.
With the Legacy Fiber Arts gang.
Yeah. He was trash talking about Patriots. Yeah, no, it's school. It's totally school related. So, yeah, I am a New York Giants fan, and my husband's a New York Jets fan, and we have a Patriots child living in our household.
I'm a Patriots fan, and my husband's a Giants fan. So,
yeah. Anyway, what I did not tell him was that these are also kind of almost Giants colors.
Mm-hmm. They kind of are too.
So anyway, that's a kind of hat from Esther William.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So I only have one other acquisition, and it's not stash acquisition. It's a book.
Cool.
And I had a lot of people reach out to me after we talked about the chickens and say they had chickens, or they did have chickens, or telling me some chicken stories, which is a lot of fun since my chicks are coming next week. I'm so excited.
Yay!
So I actually picked this book up at the farm store nearby, and it's called Fresh Eggs Daily, and it is by Lisa Steele, and probably a lot of you who have chickens already know about this, and it's a fantastic book. I've read already most of it, but it's all about using herbs and plants and natural things as pesticides, as insecticides, as all kinds of different things. So and it's more about using them as preventatives than for treatments, and using it, making natural cleaners for your coop, and all kinds of really cool things. And so here's one, herbs in the dust bath. So all these different kind of herbs that you can put in your chicken's dust bath, which are beneficial to them.
Nice.
And it's really, really interesting, and why they work. Herbs for in and around the run. So a lot of these are ones that keep insects away, or other snakes,
parasites,
keep snakes away, and things like that.
Awesome.
So yeah, it's really, really cool. And just also different little treats you can make for them, boredom busters, and things to keep them cool in the summer.
Nice.
And so it's really a great book, and I love learning about ways of using plants for different things anyway, just because I just do.
Yeah.
And so it was a good book. So if you haven't seen it and you have chickens, even if you don't have chickens, it's kind of interesting, but if you have chickens, I think I highly recommend it.
Awesome.
And so that's the book. And it's so funny. So I got this at my local farm store, but I did go on to look and see if it's available through Amazon, and it is. And I think there's it's had over 500 ratings, and it's a 5-star rating.
Oh wow, that's almost unheard of on Amazon.
Yeah, so it's gotten really, really good ratings, and like I said, I really enjoy it. I'm not all the way through it yet, but I've really, really been enjoying it. I'm I'm gonna make that disinfectant for my house.
Yeah.
So, and just a lot of the different plants that are keep bugs away and things like that. I'm well, I could use that for myself too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
absolutely.
So it was really fantastic, and I really liked it.
Cool.
And so I'm getting all ready for the chicks.
Woo.
I know.
We'll put pictures in when Kelly's chicken show.
I know, because they're gonna be a couple days old. They're gonna be babies.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Well, I think that's all we have.
I know.
For now.
Not a lot of knitting, but a lot
of other stuff.
A lot of other stuff, but we hope to see you on Saturday if you want to come out and knit with us in public. And if not, we'll see you here again next week. Right. And if you haven't subscribed and you want to, so you get the updates of when the new episodes come out, click on the subscribe button somewhere over here. Mm-hmm. And until then, we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye. You gonna fall out of your chair? Because it doesn't
Probably,
have arms?
because I'll go to lean on all these.
That would be funny.
Oh, I don't have my normal chair. with the arms.
Oh, yeah, because everything's all disorganized.
So I can't hang my bag there very easily.
I've literally walked back there like 4 times. She's like, what did you forget this time? I'll tell you this story. We were at the bus stop this morning, waiting for the bus. Mm-hmm. And I'm just kind of standing there like spacing out, and I look across over to my neighbor's house, and there's this thing over there, and like it takes my brain about 30 seconds to compute what it is. It's freaking black bear standing up on its hind legs looking at us, right? Because we're making all this noise and the dog's down with us. We've gotten into their garbage.
Oh,
and I was like,
God.
oh my God, if the dog sees that bear, it's going to be a disaster. So I'm calling the dog over, and I grab him by the collar, and I'm like, John. And he's like, what? I'm like, there's a bear over there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.